anticlimax.
We're live.
We're live.
Holy Planko. Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Chain Dots podcast here on YouTube. We have a full house. Hey, we're all here. Apologies for my mic up front. I am using a different one because the other one is broke. So I'm just throwing it out there now. Apologies. How is everyone?
It's warm, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is warm.
Bloody warm.
It is pretty warm.
I'm actually in a sweatbox. It's ridiculous.
Your mic
has swapped again. Great start.
So what are you guys in the middle of a heat wave now? Because we've just come out of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's bloody. Do you know what? It's not even that sunny. It's bloody muggy though.
It's just humid as fuck.
One of them horrible mank days where it's just humid and just grim. You probably get the gist of it.
What now? It was 28 degrees today. That's quite hot, isn't it?
Bit hot.
Oh no.
Bit hot.
Bit hot, mate. Literally, the restaurant that I work at, the majority of our seating is like outside. So the vast majority of the time that I'm serving outside. I'm just walking around a bunch of Canadians going, it's a bit hot, isn't it?
Hey.
I imagine like Canadians are quite like British people in that respect. Just constantly talk about the weather.
It's hot, eh?
It's hot, eh?
No, make no mistake. North Americans complain about it being too cold and too hot just as much as British people do.
And too
I don't think anyone's
Too
ever
windy.
happy with the weather, no matter where you come from, are you?
Never.
Like,
Oh.
it's never right, is it?
Yeah.
It's never right.
Unless it's like a solid 22 degrees. And any deviation out of that is just
But even when it's 22 degrees and like the sun's beaming, it's too hot.
So let's say hello to everyone in the chat. We got Baz. We got
Let's do that, yeah.
we got James. Hello. We got Bart. We got RCT Limit. We got Iona. We got Bullock. We got Haker. How you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Yeah. See you all. We should probably share this out that we're live.
Yeah, a long time no see, guys.
Yeah, it's been a busy old year, man.
It's been busy summer, hasn't it? It's been like crazy.
So shall I just kick off the topics then?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Why not?
So Gold Rush opened. Did everyone see like pictures and stuff?
Congratulations on that. Working on that.
Still don't get it.
The area looks really, really nice. Like the new pathing that they laid around the entire area.
You can't beat a new path, can you? Let's be honest. Like the new
Always
path
love a
is
new
important.
path.
We'll get onto paths in a bit.
Don't get Luke going on path, James.
Right.
Overexert himself too soon.
No, it looks like they filled out the area really nice. Like
yeah,
there's a lot of like specific theming, like set pieces around the ride area that I wasn't expecting to see. Which is a really nice surprise.
Yeah,
It does. It looks good from what I've seen.
yeah, I can't wait to see it in person. Well, from what I've seen, it looks really cool. I still don't get the layout of the coaster. Like, I
Not
never
a
will.
fucking clue.
I
Not a clue.
think I finally figured
That
it
is-
out from POVs.
Right.
But it's
I've not
still,
seen any.
You can't explain it. It's really confusing.
I've not seen a POV. Is there actually a proper
I
one out
uploaded an
there?
official one filmed by.
I've not watched it on purpose. I was surprised.
Oh,
I did.
that'll be why.
I did see the POV. Sean was asking, has anyone actually seen anything from it? I can remember off the top of my head, but I do actually remember watching the POV, and I still don't get the like,
Zero.
Yeah.
But that's so super cool though. Like how they've managed to program two separate settings in which it will just traverse the layout like in two completely different ways. That's wild to me. I can't think of another coaster that actually does that.
And yeah, like the ride experience itself looks like it will be a lot of fun as well when I finally get on it.
Yeah, it's very rideable. For those of you obviously don't know, it's an Intamin. What is the actual
Lift
name?
Lift and launch.
Is that the model?
I think it's lift and launch. Yeah.
So like
lift launch coaster.
Yeah, it's like tire. It's like a tire lift, tire launch, and it uses a lift hill twice, and you literally backwards on it as well. But it adds like a whole new element because when they run it, because for a few days they were running it in random, so you actually didn't know which setting you was going to get when you got guard on it. So you kind of do. If you looked behind you, you would see the track switch if you was going cycle 2. So in cycle 2 is the one when you go backwards down the lift hill and then you go back over it. That's the one I prefer the most because you get such a big whip on the corner coming down off the lift hill. But yeah, it's just like really clever, and because of that, and because the fact that you go over like different parts of you have to switch track elements and stuff, it feels so long. Like it's over 2 minutes long, but it doesn't feel like you're just going over the same bits of track, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It actually feels like a complete coaster in a way. It's just really, really fun. I was concerned when I was watching it like tests and stuff that it was going to feel just like very tame, which would have been fine because it is, as a family coaster, you can be on 1 meter in height to ride it, which is insane.
Is it 1 meter on that one? Jeez,
exactly 1 meter.
Wow.
So like when you put it into that perspective and some of the whips you get when you're going backwards, you're like, wow, it is quite thrilling. It is definitely family thrill. It's not as family thrill as like Wicker Man, if you can making that out to be like if you're classing Wicker, because if you're saying family coaster, it's a very broad term, isn't it?
Ooh.
So, because they noticed that when you drop down the lift hill, it's not gravity fed; it's actually launch you down with the tire.
I heard that.
That's interesting.
That's cool.
That's
Which is-
different. Yeah,
Like apparently that like as it basically launches you back down that turn, and I mean, Sean, you can confirm or deny this. like that turn after it is whippy as all hell. Like no one was expecting it to be that forceful off of it.
I got like 2 cycle 1s to begin with, and so I hadn't done it in cycle 2 until like I think like the next day. And then when I actually finally got to do it, it took me by surprise, like how whippy it was, but going backwards, like it's ridiculous. You literally like launched out your seat, like it's mad. But yeah, it's just overall fun, and like you guys said, it's been done to it's been finished off to such a good standard. And it's kind of like when it does. Drayton is starting to feel like more and more like a European style park in terms of like they're going to town with like the areas and stuff.
I was gonna say, how does the rest of the area look like?
Really nice, like
just like hold
it. We're not saying that we're not saying like Fantasia level, and but we're saying like if you went to like a general European style park where everything just looks nice, it's finished off nicely, it's very slick, it's kind of that style, And I love a Western area. I've said it before on the show loads. I love a Western area. It's like that's why.
I've seen that. I've not been since they've opened the coaster, but I've seen the area Obviously, that was
Yeah.
open before, and I was very surprised at how good it looked. It just how they've managed to tie even like the haunting. I was like, how are they tying the haunting into this? It looks cool on the outside, just sort of changes and stuff.
Yeah.
And now we've got a new path. I mean, come on,
Paths!
what more do you want?
Yeah.
They've reskinned Accelerator as well, haven't they? Like,
Partly.
partly.
They've partly done it. I
Is it
expect
going
them
to
to do more.
get painted up, do a bit more, and fit more in the area?
I expect so. From what people have been saying anyway to like other people and stuff, like it feels like they kind of just wanted to get like this new area. Well, they wanted to like just fully concentrate on this new coaster and finish it off and make sure it's all done. And then I think it is a work in progress.
Building on it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's an easy theme to always add things to. Like
exactly.
Got more,
but it doesn't. But when as soon as you walk into into that area, like the whole street, that's completely looks all finished. You've got the actual coaster area itself. It just looks so like it doesn't look like, oh, that needs to grow, this needs to grow, and like this bits haven't been cleared away. Like it's all just done. Like it was fully finished when it opened.
It actually looks finished.
Yeah.
Super bar.
I've always wanted to go to Slag Heron. Don't know why. Just looks cool.
It looks
because of the name.
Yeah, maybe. Because there's not even a lot there, is there? But it just looks cool. What is there?
But yeah, so yeah, Gold Rush. I'd suggest everyone go and check it out. It's really fun. Like I say, the coaster is. It's just nice to see that area, even when Apocalypse was there. Like that area was always pretty dead.
Yeah.
It was always pretty dead around that area. Now it's just like heaving, and it's just so good to see. It's just so good.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
Is Drunken Barrels open again?
Oh,
yeah, it's been open the whole time.
Yeah,
cool,
I rode it not long ago.
Both times I've been to Drayton, it has been closed.
Oh,
so
not
ride.
ridden it.
That is so odd.
Curse.
Because that ride is normally always open, but obviously people don't tend to venture that side of the park for the last like year or so. So they never really had that many people on it. But yeah, no, it's and I tell you what, Drunken Barrels is like one of my favorite flats in the UK. It's so fun. It's so like different. I don't even know
Disgusting.
like where else. I've never seen that type of ride anywhere else.
No, I've never known it to tilt like that before.
Yeah, it's like when you see someone do it for the first time.
Sorry,
they're
a bit of
like,
armpit there.
like, what? It tilts. What the hell? Like it's such a unique ride, and the theme and it's really.
I'm
cool.
glad it's open. I hope it is still open on Sunday, and I get to ride.
Nice, cool. Ben said, really excited to see the new Drayton area for myself. Sunday Gold Rush is far better than they presented. It's by far the best presented 2024 UK coaster.
Wow, that's a
I don't know.
I've
been hearing people say that, but I still can't. Like, I still think Nemesis, even though there's bits of Nemesis that wasn't like fully like done.
Yeah.
Like, just walking into that area, like my jaw dropped on the floor. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, in terms of like. That coaster and that area is just amazing.
Yeah, Nemesis Reborn has completely transformed Alton Towers, in my opinion.
I know what people are saying because there's bits still not like fully done and whatnot, but like in terms of just like immersion as well, like
I haven't been back since opening. Yeah, so I've not seen it like with all the foliage and everything.
Yeah, it's this summer. It's just now all the trees are back and everything. It just, I love it. I love it around there. Although I don't know, it's good. It was cool, like around when it opened as well, because because the trees weren't on, the leaves weren't on the trees, it kind of added to like that kind of apocalyptic style thing. Whereas it looks
the typical like Merlin theme look.
But yeah, here we go. Nice, cool. Shall we get on to the next? What we got up next?
What have we got up next?
Epic Universe. I haven't seen
Epic Universe have just dropped the Wizarding World fly through and video explaining what's in the land. And oh my goodness, is this probably going to be one of the best areas in a theme park ever?
Can I say, to that point, it's wild that this is probably the least anticipated area in the land, given the scale of this thing.
Yeah, like there's
given the scale of this area.
Insane.
They said in the video the shortest or smallest
building
in the area is taller than the tallest building in Diagon Alley.
Which is Gringotts, right? The Gringotts Dome would be the tallest building, wouldn't it?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Which
we don't
for
count
anyone,
the dragon, I don't think.
For anyone who's actually seen Diagon Alley like in person,
yeah,
it's what I've been saying about the land the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
From I can't remember when. Just the scale of this area is I can't fathom it until I see it in person.
It's that big. They've put a event tent in the front of the plaza,
which will actually have a genuine show.
A theater inside it.
Well, that tent, it looks like it's the entrance, because in the Fantastic Beasts movies, that is bigger on the inside type tent.
Well, I was wondering
it's
that going to
be linked into.
because
it's right next to the building, so it looks like you're going to enter.
Do you think it goes down?
I need to watch it again then, because I was literally wondering that during watching the flight through, and it didn't look like it was connected to it.
Yeah, on the left hand, like that building on left corner, just behind it, it looks like it link into that one behind.
Matt,
because that would make sense in my mind. Or just like it was like, it doesn't look like it's connected to any of the buildings. So how the fuck are they fitting an entire theater venue inside a tent
underground?
Underground.
But that would make more sense if it's
Harry Potter will never stagnate. It's if you go to Universal and you've been there, like the place is just full of people in robes and waving the wands, and Ollivanders is always full, and Hogwarts is always, packed out. Hagrid's is the biggest bloody queue line in the world, hence them adding, multi-million-pound project to extend the bloody maintenance base so they can actually run all trains from the start to reach capacity. Harry Potter won't ever.
I think even though
needs a reboot
fully this has got enough. I fully do not condone the whole thing with Rowling and stuff.
I'm not even thinking about that.
I try and separate that away, but
me too.
Knowing the success from the other park, or the other area of the other lands, or the Harry Potter lands. This land alone will probably pay for all of Epic Universe. Let's be honest. I think they said that just the sale of butterbeers covered the cost of them two lands in the other parks. Just the sale of butterbeer over 2 years or something.
Not to mention the wands, the capes, the robes, all the merch.
Cape, that's what I'd call it.
Fish and chips.
And it's
all the different foods. And
it's it won't stagnate if they continue to be this creative with them.
Nah, absolutely not. I mean, so they said that the Ministry of Magic ride is based after the death of Voldemort. And so it's it carries on from the film. Which is really cool. Which is a really cool way.
It's just who would have thought that they would have the city of Paris, just a full-scale city of Paris, and then have the main attraction take you into an entirely different time within the Harry Potter universe, and take you to the British Ministry of Magic. There was a lot of speculation and rumors about they didn't know how they wanted to portray the main attraction in the area, how they didn't know if Fantastic Beasts alone was enough to really draw enough people to justify making it developing the entire land and everything. They found a way to make it something that I don't really think that many people were expecting in terms of the timelines and the world that's going to be surrounding you at any given time.
Coming to the Ministry of Magic, Jack Welder Frills on Twitter tweeted earlier, one of the figures from Universal. The Metro Flu network alone has 80,000 underground tiles.
There you go.
And the Ministry of Magic spaces have over 125,000 Ministry of Magic tile.
Wow.
Place.
So the idea would have been 5 years ago would be to make a tile company in Orlando. It's on the money.
That makes this one specific color of tile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming soon in Pantone on Adobe Creative Cloud.
The thing is, like talking about like timelines and stuff, like
Yeah.
I'm just glad that like they're not doing that bullshit because they tried to do it with Star Wars.
They're not doing what? Sorry, say that again.
With the timeline
Law.
what you mentioned,
Yeah.
timeline law. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They tried to do that at Galaxy's Edge. They tried to do that for so long. Like, we can't have this character in there because it doesn't. It's like no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like,
No one
I
really
want to
wanna see
go.
that character.
Yeah, like no one gives a shit that that character doesn't exist. Then like
the most wanted character, and they finally gave in, was the Mandalorian and Grogu, and look how successful that was. Just having them in a Star Wars setting, not in a Star Wars timeline. You can't lock a planet to a timeline. Time moves on. You know what I mean? And it would be weird if you started seeing Rey and Darth Vader in the same place and stuff like that. But if they're not there with them, it's fine. You know. It's just
it doesn't really matter, like time, like it doesn't matter that much in terms of like architecture and stuff, and especially in a Potterverse type of place. Like it's meant like the original books are like set in the 90s or whatever, whereas like in like all the Diagon Alley and stuff like that, it looks like Victorian era, but like it's like kind of based on like that, like I guess like heritage style setting, aesthetic and things. So it doesn't really matter if the Paris in Epic is going to be based on the timeline that was based in, because it would probably just be the same even if it was.
No, I think the timeline in Paris works well though, with all the shops they've got and stuff, because they've got different things going on for merch. There's like a different one shot. I can't remember the names. Crap at French. So I'm not gonna
but that would just be like a different. That's not a timeline, though, isn't it? That's like a different geography. Like they wouldn't have Ollivanders, would they? Or
no, but like kind of in a way though. In certain films, there will be in a different timeline. Then shops will be there from a different timeline. But then you go to the British Ministry of Magic. It's not going to matter. But when you come back out, it will feel. It's good because it'll feel like a different experience, I think. And the fact that you're going through the Flu Network to get to the Ministry of Magic.
Yeah. I can't wait to see how that's executed.
It's just going to be
in real
lighting,
surrounded by. Basically, what we're gonna get is the Paris Olympic cauldron.
Yes.
Smoke and lights.
So
if you open it this year and there's just Paris 2024 all over it.
I can't down the middle of the land with the torch.
I didn't actually watch the opening.
Snoop Dogg on the rooftops and shit.
Today I did a pig.
Yo.
I managed to kill Lembo.
That'd be so great.
That's actually how they're doing the Flu Network. It's just him going. He's in some green up-stop lights. Up lights.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. The more we see of that land being complete, it's just going to the fact that you've got that and then Universal Monsters. It is just Dark Universe. It fucking boggles my mind. How are you going to navigate this park?
Park is going to have two like bona fide legitimate contenders at the best two dark rides in the world.
It's gonna be yeah.
Like it's gonna have to be a wait and see kind of situation to see if like the consensus of people like prefer them to Rise of the Resistance, Mystic Manor,
it's gonna matter, Mikhail,
Journey Center, like all of the others, but like there's two legitimate like contenders for the best dark ride in the world in the same park.
I think it's going to matter, Mikhail, on length. Gringotts is too short for me. I think that could have been a lot longer.
I wouldn't say Gringotts is in the conversation. I like Gringotts.
No, but like that was a revolutionary dark ride when it came out. It was a new take on the roller coaster and what it can do and stuff, which was cool. So
But like, would you really say it's on the level of Rise of the Resistance?
No, but that's my point.
I would.
hope
I
that,
personally would. Like,
You would?
yeah. I think it's underrated to hell, man. I think it's such a good ride.
it's
and
too
experience.
short and the story ends way too fast.
I think it's just but it's just so different. Like this, like
It is different. It's a good
like,
experience.
Rise of Resistance is good. It's really good, but it's like I didn't go out and be like, oh, that's not like nothing I've ever done before. Like I've kind of done like a lot of trackless dark rides. And I was like, but I think you'd have a better appreciation for it if you're a Star Wars fan. Whereas you hear the people on Gringotts, and it's just surprising for everyone because it's just even now, like it's just like you just don't. I didn't expect.
Would you say? And again, like saying it as someone who likes Gringotts a lot and appreciates Gringotts, would you say it's on the level of Flight of Passage?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I would rather do, but I'm in a different camp where, like, I just think flying theaters are just flying theaters. Like, I appreciate them. It's definitely the best version of a flying theater I've done.
The best presented.
But that's
Absolutely.
just like saying that's like I don't know, the best bumper cars I've done. Do you know what I mean? Like in my world, like I just. I don't see
very extreme example.
I hear people go like, "Oh God!" Like I come out.
I say no. I say that as someone who prefers Flight of Passage to Rise of Resistance because of the way it makes me feel.
Oh yeah,
not just because of what all it's included or like what new tech it has.
Oh, I don't care about
for all the new tech and all the new combinations of ride systems that Rise of the Resistance, and then rides like Tower of Terror, you know, in its time, and other rides like that introduced to the world of dark rides. Yeah, sure. The Flight of Passage is, if you really want to break it down past like everything else that goes into the experience, yes, it is just a flying theater, but because of but I mean, like we always look at dark rides as the sum of its parts, not just the ride tech.
Yeah, for sure.
And the sum of its parts and the sum of Flight of Passage's parts just make me feel they move me more than Rise of the Resistance does. And I'm thinking about these two new dark rides in Epic Universe in the same way. What is like we're talking about everything that we know to be included in both of them. To what degree are they gonna move the majority of people? Because it's looking like they're pulling on everything that people want in world-class dark ride material.
Yeah,
I think
so that's how I'm judging it.
Yeah,
it certainly looks like there's going to be a lot of animatronics in Epic Universe, which I'm happy about.
This is what kind of like I think the problem with like things like Gringotts is a weird one for me because I'm not the biggest lover of like screens, but I just think like when they do it well, like
I think it's done really well.
It's done. The screens part of it's done really well. But what I think I like the most about a ride is I feel like I'm going somewhere. Like with a flying theater, I'm very much aware that I'm static. It's a simulator ride. So I think that just plays into it for me, where I'm like,
not Flight of Passage, bro. I'm sorry, I can't like.
Well, you don't know that you
most of the time with flying theaters, I'll agree, but not with Flight of Passage.
The only difference is you're on like a bit of like you just
heart beating panchy,
a meaty little stall.
Well,
like going like that, like breathing.
The two times that I've ridden it, I didn't notice the edges of the screens taking me out of the sense of disbelief. Like like every time the Banshee moves faster, and like the screen moves faster as a result, the Banshee breathes,
the air as well,
quicker and everything.
Yeah. I didn't really like. I know Joe like I felt the same as like, you guys. like that she was like absolutely amazed by it, and I was like, that was really good. I was like, that was really good, but like, yeah, it didn't like move me in like an emotional way.
That's fair.
Star Tours is cool because, just to Will the Frills point there, you always you get a different ride, like every time, get a different sequence, unless you get very lucky and you get like one after another the same. But there's like 700 different combinations what you can get on the actual screen, so it's always a different ride, which makes it cool. And they're always adding and taking away things and changing things up, and I like the whole experience of Star Tours.
I prefer the queue to Star Tours than the ride itself. I like that. I like the robots like with
yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Rex looking through your shit. Yeah, that's cool.
I wish I could remember more of Star Tours. I can't remember any of the ride. I remember Q. I remember almost any of the ride.
I tell you what, you know what I really fucking liked, but I probably won't do it again because it nearly made me sick. It was what's it called?
Mission Space.
Mission Space.
Mission Space. Yeah.
I love the fact that it's so claustrophobic, which is such a weird thing to say. Like it genuinely feels like you're on a.
Isn't that the one that
it does? Like it replicates that very well.
Like
isn't that the one that has two different versions?
Yeah, orange or blue, is it? I think. Orange
Green,
or red or
green,
red or something.
And that fully, like the feeling of that, like fully feels like you're like going into space. Well, I imagine it would feel like in terms of like the G's and stuff. It's just fucking insane. That's done really well, I think.
It is like it's so funny. The people who I was with when I rode that, they were just like, make sure you look straight on. Don't look to either side, or otherwise you'll get sick. I'm like, okay. So, like, just like,
did you?
Like breathe in, and just like I followed instructions. I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
The fact that they give you a sick bag, like just.
I would 100% be sick. I need Quell City before I went on there. Honest to God,
it's like it's another level, that thing.
Not for me.
But yeah, do you think we're done on Epic, or we got any other thoughts on that?
I think we need to have an epic. I keep saying this every episode we have, but we need to have an epic episode when everything's been announced. Everything's been announced.
Wasn't that the last one to get announced now?
Was it?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think that was the last.
Oh yeah,
that was the last of the Kronos.
Coming
soon. Having a lengthy conversation about bumper cars.
Yeah.
I don't really remember bumper. I did a good bumper cars recently, but I can't remember.
They're not all bad. Bumper cars are well fun.
No, I love bumper cars.
I do like bumper cars.
Apart from the ones with like the lap bar is straight now because they break a rib if you hit someone.
Have you noticed now that like that we had that period where there was like they're called dodgems and you're not allowed to hit each other. Everyone's off now. They've stopped saying that because they know it's not going to fly. Like they're back to being bumper cars.
When me and Matt went on the ones in Drayton, there was a guy on it, right? And this guy had been sat on him because he was barely any cute, and he'd been sat on him for like 3 or 4 cycles, and he 100% thought he was in some kind of music video. He had his headphones on, and he was singing along to whatever music he had on, and he was like cruising, like one arm around the back, and like just the paces he was pulling and stuff like that. So naturally, me and Matt were like,
gravitate towards
him. Smashed into it. But he was still singing away, like he was. What a guy! Like fully immersive bumper cars in Drayton. Like honestly, like he made our day. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Can you imagine doing like a silent disco on bumper cars?
Yo,
that's what happens.
Trademark.
It never runs out. Yeah. You just get off and swap.
Matt said, "Get Alicia on." There have been conversations.
Yeah,
there have been conversations. But yeah,
that would be very cool.
That would be very cool if that.
That'd be insane, actually.
But yeah. So yeah, next up we have what have we got? Virtual Towers.
Oh yeah,
Take
we did
it away.
Yeah, we finally after a total rebuild and going through everything since lockdown, basically since the COVID release, we've now released the latest version of Virtual Towers Online. You can get it. We'll put a link in the description or something, but you can now play it. It's out. You can ride Smiler, Oblivion, Spinball, Nemesis, Wickerman,
Hex.
Hex,
Yeah, we got Hex
yeah.
open before Towers did.
Hex is open.
and Skyride.
And Skyride, yeah.
And you might get shouted at if you stay on it, so stay on it. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of hard work, and the whole team are really proud. We were really proud the other night when we did the stream, even though the stream went to shit at the start. We're really proud to get that out. So hopefully you guys will check it out and download it. We've had a ridiculous amount of downloads. I don't know what were we on last time we checked, and that was day after.
Day after, I think we were over 1,000 already.
Yeah, easy over 1,000.
2,000.
I think. Yeah. So
I can't remember what it was.
We've had a lot of new Patreon members as well. So if you want to get access to the Halloween stuff we're doing, which is going to be really cool. We're currently working on everything now, some shows and some stuff as well. So it's going to be really good. So if you want to support the project, all the money goes back into the project. We don't see any of it. It goes straight back in, helps us get assets and helps us pay for stuff as well. So it's it really helps with the project, and you get access to the Patreon chat as well on Discord, which is always cool because we're always in there, always chatting, sharing our screens, showing the latest stuff that we're working on. But yeah, it's been a blast, James, hasn't it, to do that? It really has. It's been stressful.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to now actually working on a new ride rather than rebuilding an old one.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, submission as well. You can ride submission and
yes, submission, Enterprise, Blade,
Blade, Ripsaw. Yeah, there's loads.
There's a lot.
There's lots, and you can walk around now. The only coaster really is that aren't open at the moment is 13, Rita, and Galactica/Air. So.
Oh yeah, Mine Train you can ride as well.
Oh yeah, Mine Train. Bloody hell, yeah, that was the whole thing I worked on. Yeah, the Mine Train.
And
there's a nice little cameo from someone as well who's operating the Mine Train. So. Go and check it out. But if you want to see everything in detail and what we've done and what we've changed and everything, check out the live stream we did. If you can't download it or whatever for whatever reason, everything's there. We go through everything.
Nice.
Yeah. Especially weather and changing time of day as well, which is a big thing in fast travel.
So cool.
Rob, Sharkbait Reef is not in yet.
But
eventually.
Sharkbait Reef will be eventually. Yeah. Will be. Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Thank
you.
It.
Thank you.
It's been I've seen you guys go through it. It's been a lot of hard work. So
yeah, it has. It's been a lot, and especially because there's only like 5 of us. Yeah, 5 of us. Yeah. It's crazy the amount that's getting done. But we're on course to have a really good Halloween event on the game as well for Patreon. So.
Throughout the time that you've both been involved with VTO, what would you say is the coolest thing you've done, like individually for it, and what would you say is the coolest thing you've learned in terms of learning Unreal, learning how to texture, learning like different modeling programs and techniques and stuff?
I'll go first. The coolest thing that I've ever done that involved VTO was showing John Wardley Nemesis in the hotel.
Yeah, I mean that was a moment,
and getting the appreciation and the acceptance of him that much so that he wanted to do the voice work for our Nemesis release.
That is so cool.
Really?
Yeah, he does. That's him. Demo. That's not AI. That's John Wardley
on his Mac tutorial.
On his Mac, giving you a tutorial, talking into a microphone. That is like the pinnacle. I don't think we'll ever beat that. Yeah. But recent coolness is just getting it out and seeing people downloading it and making content and sharing it around and enjoying it. And people who haven't been to Towers, that's the nicest thing. People who can't go for whatever reason. They can now have a walk around and ride the rides and experience the park we all love, but virtually. And that's why we do it. We love Alton Towers, and we love some of the old rides, we love some of the new rides. So why not make a mixture? For example, one little thing we've done is we've made the ability to have the old Oblivion area, and now you can have the present one with the orange hull and all of the logos and everything out there on Excite. And that's really cool. But yeah, working with John Wildey on the Nemesis release was crazy. Getting the sound bites back and being like, can we just change it a little bit? And then literally like 10 seconds later, he'd send it over, it'd be done. It was crazy. I don't think at the time we took it in for what it was, but looking back on it, it was pinnacle, like best.
That is
best
very
moment.
cool. Like you couldn't get any better than that in terms of what you were doing to have him on board
No.
and put his stamp on it in his way, kind of thing.
So if you haven't checked out the
more, can you?
Yeah, so if you haven't checked out the Nemesis demo that we did, it is still available. You can still play that for that reason, because John Wildey will talk to you and tell you how to operate Nemesis, etc. So, but yeah, James, how about you? What's apart from that?
For me, I think coolest thing is probably getting Oblivion working again.
Yeah, man.
Like the level of stress that it caused to try to actually get the animation to work.
The level of detail that we've put into the animation is bonkers.
Think like all the other rides, I got it down to a point where I could have an animation done within a day.
Yeah.
Oblivion was about a week of trial and error, trying different things because of how the train actually moves. It's completely different to all the other rides.
Yeah.
And also the programming of doing a dual station with 2 sets of gates for each row and managing to alternate that, but also because at the moment it is only running automatically, but programming in the kind of future proofing of when it goes into manual and you'll be able to just use one station platform. But yeah, that main thing of kind of overall in Unreal is probably learning how to program in that and just kind of refining that, because I'm like still learning new things every day. With that,
absolutely, especially last night.
I need like half an hour last night.
We'll go into detail last night, but that's going to be cool. But how much time do we spend on it a week? Well, basically, we all finish work, we come on Discord, and then we work. It's basically it.
It's a lot of
little
bits. Like we'll go in and do like half an hour or something.
Yeah, and then we'll come out, chill out, and then we'll jump
a lot
back
of the time it isn't constant.
No,
most of us, apart from Blakey.
Yeah, because Blakey is Blakey and Pete. Like Pete's always in there trying to optimize. Like the biggest challenge we had with this release was the amount of hardware that's changed in 4 years' time for people's computers to run, and to get it to optimize and still work on the older computer hardware as well that other people have got. Was a really big success for us, because even Blakey can run it on his bloody little Dell laptop that he uses. And all the modeling, can I just say, 90% of the modeling, right, in that game that comes in from SketchUp from Blakey is done with a fucking trackpad.
Doesn't need a mouse.
Oh my god.
All trackpad, yeah. We're like, what?
No mouse.
What the fuck?
When the first thing I said to Blakey, right, professionally in VTO was, I can send you a mouse. He was like, no, I've got money. I don't need one. I
don't want one. I'm just like, get a fucking
and all you can hear is,
hey, the man's got his methods.
You're like the game frustration when you press the middle dice thing and it pops.
Yeah.
All you can hear is like that sound on Discord, like constantly when he's on building. Like, oh, Blakey's building stuff. So that's
he must have like a massive callus on his side.
We'll ask him. One of the other things as well that we did completely strip out was like the audio. The audio has been completely done for multiple rides. Yeah, like Wickerman had new sound, Smiler had new on-ride sound, Oblivions, which we had to match to the animation, which was a pain in the ass. Nemi hasn't changed. That's still got the same sound, although we do have a different version for a certain different type of Nemesis that might be coming at some point.
Spoilers.
So it's been it's been an absolute pleasure to work on it and be part of the team, and it is every day. Like, soon as we do a new area, for example, I put a tree in round battle galleons, and you just stood back in the game, you just looked at it and you thought, yep, that's exactly how it looks in real life. Beautiful. And it's worth it. And for people to, especially when they say like the details are compelling, like it's so realistic, that's what we aim for. We're limited with Unreal. We can't push it as much as we want. Unreal 5 will give us more tools to work with, but it's a long way off yet. Give him a mouse. I tried. I literally was gonna. I was literally gonna.
No. The thing you said before that had me dying.
Hey Sam.
Hello, Sam.
How you doing? Costello.
Sam Costello from YouTube.
Yeah. So please, guys, go and check out VTO. And if you just want a cool place to hang out with a really cool community, in a creative community, come and join our Discord server. It's amazing. The amount of
Sean's exploded.
the amount of creativity we have in that Discord is ridiculous, especially photographers. Like, there's some bloody good photographers in there. But we've got loads of different channels, different themes, theme parks, different games, 3D design, all sorts. So yeah, come and check us out. Well, our links are everywhere. Find it.
Sweet. Go check it out.
And thanks. And thanks for playing. If you have downloaded it, appreciate it.
Just oh god.
John Wardley just appeared.
He just booted up. He booted up the old version of Virtual Towers and got hit with the Unreal logo, which we don't do.
Nice. So next up we have Raptera. Is that what we're calling it?
Raptera.
Raptera.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
That sounds like a really like bad
Raptera
name. You know, like an 8-year-old come up with a rapping name.
Raptera.
I'm a Raptera.
Oh, it's a Godzilla villain. That's actually a raptor.
Wait, Sean, when did the diss track come back?
Some 8-year-old kid. Some 8-year-old kid that's listening to way too much Eminem.
I'm a Raptera.
Someone said it sounds like a new Kia car model, and I about lost my shit.
It does.
The new Kia Raptera.
A new Kia Raptor. Even LeBron James drops it.
That is very true.
But yes, no. King's Dominion announced King's Dominion in Virginia announced their new B&M launched wing coaster that's coming next year, 2025, called Raptera. It's going to be located in the Jungle Expedition area. It's supposed to be the main attraction in the entire area. I've not really followed the development of Jungle Expedition that much. I've not been to King's Dominion since 2018. It's not really I've only just now started getting the feeling that I need to go back to King's Dominion. I need to go back and ride I-305, or now Project 305. Again, I need to ride Twisted Timbers again. But yeah, they have been very gradually developing what only looks like the most well executed themed area in the whole park. Sean, I know you've been there recently, so you can speak to that area as well. I don't know a whole lot about it, but a few of the rides in that area got rethemed. I know Avalanche, the bobsled coaster, got rethemed. I think they took out the Huss top spin that was there, and like one scrambler flat ride got rethemed as well and renamed. And then when the SNS 40 free spin opened, Tumbili, that was kind of like the beginning of the the rounding up of that area. There's a lot of backstory to it as well, which I think was explained in the announcement of Raptera. But yeah, like that like I said, is it looks like it is the main attraction of the area, and it seems like following barring the probable potential retheme of I-305, that area is now complete. which is funny because Flight of Fear is still in the way.
Yeah.
but yeah,
that is a really nice area,
Mm.
and it's very much needed in that type of park. With, like, just the greenery, it's just nice. It's just nice to have. But yeah, it's I hear Rapterra has a rattle. I can hear it from here. We do have a POV, don't we?
Yeah, it got released this morning.
And can I just say, it's probably one of the nicer renders that have come out recently as well. It's really good. It's really good.
It's insane. Like, that is the wrong one.
That's all your Twitter notifications.
Where is it? Wait. Sorry,
Be
guys.
thankful it's not his incognito tab.
Could you
Could have all had a shock then.
So
there you go.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I thought it was actually real footage.
yeah, I honestly thought it was real. I was like, well, I didn't know,
because I had it on my phone screen. I was like, wait,
the beauty of using a skybox, James, it just changes everything.
That is odd. Just a top hat that's on its side. It's not a normal top hat or an inversion.
It's like
the start to Surf Coast to Pipeline. It kind of just does a weird thing.
It reminds me of a skateboarder on a half
full of shit. That turn, that one there, that looks cool.
Yeah, it's funny because this actually leaked yesterday, and
Did they delete it?
yeah, it got leaked by some local news
Typical
channel or something like that.
People.
And
knows it out.
now watching the actual official like video, it makes me feel like that one that was leaked yesterday was slowed down, because it looks like the ride looks like it paces better in this video than it did in the video that leaked yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that was my one thing about, like, I've been wanting more launched wing coasters because of how much I like Thunderbird. It's far and away my favorite wing coaster, just because it paces like way better than every other wing that I've done.
It's literally the best thing about Mantra. It's the launch. It's so good.
Yeah.
Snappy.
And that's what I wanted. Like, off the back of watching the leak yesterday, I was like, I hope that it paces close to, like, a little closer to Thunderbird's pacing, like the actual thing when it's built and it's operating and stuff. Because, like, the layout looks fun. I think it looks fun.
The layout looks fun. The only thing that I would say is I hope that, obviously this is just rendering for the actual ride layout, that theming wise they kind of add in some more near misses, because that is like a whole selling point of wing coasters, is how close they can get to objects. And it just seems to be lacking that. Like, there's a lot of really high up elements. You're not really that close.
Can I be transparent on that for a minute, for a little second? The whole near misses thing, thematically, I like it, but in terms of the ride experience, like, I'm indifferent a little bit to them.
Yeah.
Like, they're cool.
It's a quick little, you know.
They're cool, but they're never my favorite thing on one of these.
Apparently, Raptor does it really well. Gardaland.
Yeah, because basically all of
really
Raptor's layout is basically all of Raptor's layout is really well themed, and the near misses are in keeping with the other theming pieces around the ride area.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's what I would say with this. It needs to be like what they have on the launch, the archways, stuff like that throughout, where you're going through kind of like
it could
like
use
ruins and stuff. So,
like, in these ground sections in between elements, it could use some more.
I don't think any coaster doesn't hurt any coaster to do that. I think it does improve it somewhat. I think it gives you a sense of speed, gives you a sense of like danger. I think it's, and especially with a wing coaster, I feel like it works so well because you are you feel so exposed.
Yeah, and on that point, exposure, you've got two different vibes from it completely as well. It's either you go under the track or over the track. You know, like the
Yeah.
Swarm. You always make that conscious decision, don't you? Sometimes when you can choose which side to go on. So it'll be
Yeah.
that's always nice to experience a near miss from a different point.
Yeah, I feel like
Point of view.
because I don't think like Phoenix has some like it gets very close to its like surroundings. Flood the dam on.
Phoenix goes under the bridge, doesn't it?
Yeah, it goes under it.
Surely it could at
He's
least
crashed through a billboard.
Flood
yes,
the
a Mayan billboard.
Yeah.
Ancient Mayan billboard.
Demonin,
Imagine.
whatever it's called. That
Demon.
goes underneath like a bridge and stuff.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think what's the one at Dollywood called?
Wild Eagle. Wild Eagle.
Wild
does
Eagle.
that.
Gatekeeper has got a cool one. That's obviously like
Gatekeeper's got the
That's
gate.
got the most iconic
Yeah.
one, really, hasn't it?
yeah.
The keyholes.
They're okay.
But I think like it's good. I think
The
that's the thing.
Swarms. The
with-
Swarms
with-
added to it.
Yeah. But Swarms is like it's a very gimmicky one, isn't it? But it
Swarm's
works.
billboard is really gimmicky. The plane wing is
that's the
good though.
That's the one. That's the one that I
Really
really like.
cool.
On Swarm.
Yeah.
Is the wing over drop into underneath the plane? That one's really cool.
I just love the entry into that 0G from that drop. It's so forceful when it's kicking ass. It's so good. I just feel like I really like wing coasters. They're a heavy piece of kit, aren't they, to be moving around that track? They always give you that
it's Thunderbird for
mechanical
the
vibe.
Dollywood.
And that's another thing with Raptera. I didn't notice until
Thunderbird.
recently that
Yeah.
it is a
Always
5-car train, just like Thunderbirds is. Like
Oh,
it's
is
not
it?
like
That's all
8 cars. Those trains are heavy as shit.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why Thunderbird paces so well is because the train's so much lighter, because it's like almost half the length.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And so is Raptera. So it's going to be interesting to see if that also results in a more well-paced ride experience compared to the others.
Yeah, good too.
No, it's good. I think King's Dominion definitely needs something like this. 100%. Because with I-305 down half the time, you know what I mean? Like Twisted is like the only standout coaster from me anyway. Like which is their
I'd say, did you not like Dominator that much?
I didn't rate it as that much.
Mm.
I didn't.
I really enjoy it. I feel like it's really powerful for a floor.
I think it was okay.
Yeah.
I think it
Have
just
a rattle.
suffered from like, if I remember, it just wasn't like as I remember the loop just being like, I thought that was going to be really good, but it was like almost too tall that it just
yeah.
It lost like a lot of
too
steam.
big to be forceful.
Yeah, that's what I expected, more forces on it.
Hmm.
And it's really hard though, because like I keep saying, it was such a hot day. All them days were that like we were probably getting the best out of some coasters and the worst out of other coasters. So it's a strange one.
That's an interesting question. Is it the last of the Cedar for Legacy Park editions to be? It'd be interesting to see what the new company goes with editions.
No,
Yeah?
Carowinds have been teasing something as well.
Right.
There will be a 4-year period at least of new editions coming, because that's some of these things are getting planned like 7 years in advance as well. Like,
for sure.
So there'll be a big crossover, I think. Yeah, but it's good. I mean, not everyone is a big fan of wing coasters. I'm like kind of indifferent to them. They're a bit like dive coasters for me. Like I don't get super excited seeing them. But then I remembered how much I loved Phoenix. And Flug. Flug's good.
But looks really good. That airtime hill in the little town bit.
Yeah. I'm glad that they're going with the launch and bringing that back. But it just, I don't know, maybe I'm being a hater, but I'm just not seeing anything different here. And I'm not saying everything needs to be different, but it's just like there's nothing on there going like, oh my god, what's that going to feel like?
It is,
but maybe that's just like a weird a weird expectation recently because we've been spoiled with like very new style coasters, new like different elements all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm not buying into the notion that King's Dominion needed this to be especially different, personally, because like Volcano was beloved and everything, and I totally get that. I appreciate that I just barely missed out on riding it, but outside of the couple of launches, and once it shoots you out of the volcano, the rest of the layout didn't look to do much at all. And the sort of like sentimental value that people hold to that ride is very powerful. So I get how people feel about it, and just like the sentimental value to like any, you know, like revered coaster over time, like it jades people's views towards it, and that's totally valid. But to RCT Limits' point just then, like all it needed to do was please the general public. I don't think it needed to be some, you know, like groundbreaking, never seen before kind of roller coaster experience in order to achieve what it needed to achieve, especially with I-305 like having all its, you know, issues with ridership and availability, like you was talking about before, Sean. They needed another crowd pleaser in the park, and that's exactly what they've got.
Or something for crowds.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, they have
polarizing edition.
Yeah, they have a very polarizing coasters. That part does. There's not many people. I can imagine like Twisted Timbers being like very 50-50, if you like that, because like I know for a fact that I don't think Emma would like that. The amount of ejector like on that is just silly. So if you find them restraints uncomfortable, it's going to be a lot of people who hate that. But then a lot of people who are going to absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite RMCs. In terms, well, I-305 is I-305, right? It's it's not very re-rideable, and most people are going to black out on it.
Well, that's
so Dominator is, you know, that's probably like it's a good coaster, but it's pretty old now.
Grizzly's really polarizing.
You what's that?
Grizzly can be really
I didn't enjoy Grizzly. Didn't enjoy it. So I safe. They need a safe bet, really, which this will be. However, will it be? Because I mean, this is like it's getting onto our main topic, but
I was waiting for the segue.
Getting that old B&M rattle, which I never thought I'd be saying that in the year of 2024.
It's funny because I mean, like, if we're gonna go onto that topic, then fuck it. It's funny because like I have always like I've kind of always thought that there is just like a tinge of just blowing that whole shit out of proportion with these new B&Ms, and then I realized recently I haven't ridden any newest B&Ms lately. So I can't really speak to the experience. The newest B&M that I've ridden is Emperor,
right,
which opened in, I can't even remember, like 21.
Yeah,
or was it before COVID? I can't even remember. Let me search that real quick.
The newest B&M track that I've ridden is Nemesis, but I've been on quite
so
a
the
few
people
B&Ms
who have ridden Nemesis Reborn, who've ridden Iron Menace, who have ridden Doctor Diabolical's Cliffhanger, you know, those ones, they can speak to this more so than me. But as someone who is like almost never usually bothered by rattles, I'm like, what is the
Mandrill as well? actually.
Mandrill as well. Yeah, Mandrill Mayhem.
Mandrill was the first time like I truly like noticed that rattle
Yeah.
because it's like a full. It's not like it's like a full body like vibration, and
Because you can see it when people are
Oh,
getting
I'm
onto
open
the
exception.
train. The entire, like on Swarm, someone sits in the seat, no movement. Mandrill, someone sits in the seat. The whole thing does that.
I
It just
genuinely
bounces
think that
as they're
coaster is
sitting in the
too
seat.
big for what it's trying to do.
It's but I
too
think
big
the reason
big
it's
model.
so obvious on Mandrill is because like it's going like at just quite a gentle speed.
Mm.
It should be like super smooth. It's not doing much. Do you know what I mean? But then when you're going on it and you're going at like quite a steady pace, but you're still like you at some. It's if I remember, it's at some points as well. You're just like, what this. Don't make any sense why you just should be jittering that much, and that's the best way of describing it rather than a rattle, because like a rattle can mean very different things to different people.
Yeah,
With
of course
that,
it can.
it's like a full body that's like vibrating.
Yeah.
It's just a weird, yeah, it's very odd. The Nemesis Reborn one, like I didn't pick it up until people started pointing it out, and then I went on it and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. But
it was nothing significant though, in my opinion.
No.
Like, okay, I noticed it once it was pointed out, which just proves how subtle, in my opinion, that it was.
yeah,
But then it's one of them. It's like once you see something, you can't unsee it.
And
yeah.
that's
Now
the
you
thing
know
thing
to
with
expect
Nemesis
it.
though, even with it, I don't smack my head.
No,
Because
it's very
before-
subtle.
Like, because Nemesis is showing its age, it did get rougher, and you like me being shorter, my head is perfectly between the restraints. So any slight movement, I end up smacking my head. And Nemesis Reborn, like I didn't have a moment where I ended up hitting my head on the restraint, even with a rattle. So
And that goes to my point.
Mm.
If the rattle is not negatively affecting your like the sensations that the ride that is inflicting on your body and your experience of the ride, is it like is it worth mentioning? Like is it worth
I've tried
downplaying the experience if it's not doing anything to your personal experience of it?
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
so I think with Nemesis it doesn't affect my ride because it's just a batshit coaster. Like it just is meant to like throw you around. It's meant to like
it's nothing
like
it's
the
never
rattle-
done before.
Yeah, like the rattle is not anything, right? But if it's meant to be like, but like I say, on Mandrill, it's like the only noticeable thing. Like you just should be going down a track going wee, not like bouncing all over the place. So it's kind of unfortunate that it's so prominent on that one. But yeah, with Nemesis didn't bother me. I'm trying. Yeah, I think what it is that coasters are getting smoother. They just are getting smoother. And now like you go on things on Shambhala and you're like, well, it's not as smooth as it once was, or was it always just like that? And now because we're getting smoother stuff, it's making the older stuff or some of the newer stuff as well, but it's making that feel like more rough than we used to think it was, and things like that.
I mean, we're also slating B&M for it because they're meant to be smooth, but a lot of other manufacturers that have developed their track really well recently, Mac,
Yeah,
like some wrote like towards the front on Hyperia and so when we did the RT, front and the back cars smooth as anything. Middle of the train, there was a horrendous rattle. Like the train was
you were
shaking. I was
me, weren't
shaking
you?
side to side. I was just like, well, you're slating B&M, but every manufacturer has the same issue.
Vekoma don't.
Icon has a brutal rattle.
Icon's rattle is getting worse, in my opinion. You can hear it for a start. I think is it train number 3 that's like always been the worst one, but that is like a ridiculous in my opinion. Like it doesn't take anything away from the ride, like, but it's so fucking noticeable on Icon.
It's like a tiny distraction that just takes you out of the moment sometimes when it's really.
Do you know what? General public probably wouldn't even notice it as a rattle. I think because we understand these things and we look out for them a bit sometimes. It's like, oh god, it's awful. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not. You know?
That right there is why I think that Rapterra is going to be the crowd pleaser it needs to be.
I think Rapterra is just generally going to be fun, and people are going to enjoy it because wing coasters really still, there's not loads of them, and to a lot of people, it's quite quirky and quite cool. It'd be like, oh, you sat on either side of the track and whatever. I think it's going to go down the storm. To be honest, nobody's going to notice if it rattles or it doesn't rattle, apart from music. So I think people are just going to think it's fun.
I think the next episode should be all about the Mac fart.
Icon loves a good Mac fart.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of the Mac fart.
So you've not seen it. So Hyperion does it as well on the turnaround. You know when it squeaks that it goes.
Oh,
Oh.
When it goes
Icon
over
does
the
it.
gate on Icon, it farts.
Yeah.
Icons does it
That's
now. It
funny.
goes down. And
That's usually when
just
it's
so-
going like some speed though, like towards the end of the day when it's really warmed up.
Yeah.
Over that gate.
It's so
funny.
funny. And everyone just looks over to it as well. It's just hilarious.
But
It's
then you
like me
also
when I'm
the amount of
driving my
things that
car.
I've seen on social media where
It's
people are
great.
like, "Oh my god, it's making this horrific noise." But
Yeah.
it's just running well. Leave it alone. Okay,
Mhm.
leave it alone.
It's trying its hardest.
It's
We're not
doing
really
well,
used to
bless
it
him.
from B&M though.
I don't know. I've had some rattly B&Ms.
I was gonna say, like there are a few older B&Ms that haven't, I guess you could say, haven't aged the best. But like, I can only speak for myself. It just doesn't affect my experience that much. Like,
I also can't like because that's what I said when I first rode Manager was like new B&M shouldn't be riding like that. Like it's a bit weird. But then apart from like these newer ones I've done, I can't remember doing like opening day of like I didn't do opening day Swarm. It was a good few years after I actually did Swarm for the first time. I didn't do any like new like B&Ms. Like,
yeah,
and then if
that's
I
kind
did,
of what I was gonna say. I can't remember the last time I actually rode a B&M in its opening year or like opening couple of years.
so maybe if they are just like that and they have to just set in because like what they told people at one of the VIP events was just like it's just like the significant rattle and nemesis on the near the break run was just it settling. And I mean, I'm not going to say that's not true.
Like
Maybe that is true.
if I come back home next year and I ride Nemesis Reborn, and it rides the same to me as Raptor at Cedar Point just did 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
I'm just like what are we talking about?
But then, okay, is it not better saying
Raptor's not super smooth, and neither like Raptor and Rougarou, the two older B&Ms there, they're not super smooth, but they ride well enough to be enjoyable.
So
Raptor,
what kind of witchcraft are Vekoma using? Maybe that's the problem. Why Vekoma so smooth?
I think their layout design philosophy contributes to that. With how predictable their transitions are. Personally.
Yeah, I don't know because you got things like Let Coaster. I would say that's a predictable coaster. You know, that's quite
Let
tight.
Coaster is the anomaly.
I just think
compare Let Coaster. No, in fact, think about Let Coaster, and then think about how Formula and how similarly Formula and Abyssus ride to each other. And I don't know like other Vekomas that you've done or anything. But like Let Coaster rides nothing in my mind. Let Coaster rides nothing compared to Energylandia's Vekomas.
no, you're
like
right.
it's so much more aggressive. It's so much more,
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is down to just like it just rides faster. Like it just rides faster. It tracks faster. But
Can I just quickly say that where the hell has it just gone? Not that one. That's a different Vekoma.
Oh
We
yeah,
don't speak
what?
about
Like,
her.
yeah, I'm not talking
We
about.
don't speak about her.
We're
What?
talking
That's
new
so
gen.
stupid.
We're
Not-
talking new
not
again.
Ernest,
There's no way I'm going about to say SLC.
The comment they've used no limits to design rides on. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
But yeah, no.
Yeah, I completely forgot about Formula and Abyssus, and yeah, they do ride. They are really smooth, but they were like I did find they were very predictable transitions for them too.
Yeah.
mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
I
they're,
think
they're
the
the same
vests
thing.
as
Let's be
well.
honest. They're the same thing. Just one's a bit longer than the other.
yeah.
The vests as
They're
well
quite drawn
maybe
out though.
help it because you're kind of pulled back to your seat. So any movement in the train that isn't quite right, you don't get thrown to the side because the vest stops you from moving
Mm.
a bit.
Mhm.
That could kind of help with.
but I think
Ease
like
you into and
predictable or
through
not,
and out.
like
They ease you
is
into.
let coaster smooth? Would you say let coaster
Yeah.
is smooth? Yeah.
Mhm.
So if that is not, if that even if that is anomaly, it's still smooth, smoother than what some of the newer being people are saying anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like there is something to be said for that. And just going back to Matt said the elders in the community would be sure to let us know if the OG had a rattle. Yeah, but they would have been riding it in the 90s where everything fucking rattled.
Where
So
everything
it was
was made-
class smooth compared
where
to
everything was made with pen and paper.
Literally,
Matchstick models.
they were used to just arrows that were like someone just decided on the day what they was going to fucking do with it.
Had Dragonfire. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's like I mean it's the equivalent to when people were watching like black and white films in like the 40s and the 50s. That when Godzilla come out, it scared people to death. Do you know what I mean? Like people like running out, like that looked real to them. And now like you look back on it, you're like, oh, that's, you get used to stuff going. And now we've just had this massive like leap in technology in just the last 10 years, maybe just the last 5 years, where we can have the smoothest coasters possible if we want them, and then just comparing, and maybe B&M are just like just a little bit, they're not there yet, or they've had a change in designers, the change in
Yeah, there's just something.
I was literally just about to say, like, they have changed. Well, I can't even say if this is like 100% correct or not, but like I think they have changed designers. Like one of them's daughter has taken over. I can't remember which. I can't remember if it's Walter Bollinger or Claude Mabillard. Like one of their daughters has taken one of their places or something. So like I mean, like, naturally they will have changed designers over the like 30 plus years that they've been,
Yeah, for sure.
that they've been around. So
Oh, they should.
objectively speaking, like maybe a personnel thing is contributing to it to some degree.
Yeah.
As Matt put in the chat as well, am I right in thinking the rattle is more about train design than the track?
I can't speak to that.
I feel like that's probably more what we're seeing, because
Yeah,
It's gotta be.
track work nowadays is so computer based. If anything's like a fraction of a degree off, it gets rejected. Whereas, and like with B&M, because I know they have recently changed where they do some of their production, like a lot of the track production they did have in Europe and America. Now they only use America for it.
Right.
So has there been a change in where they're doing their train production? Or potentially are they changing some of the materials to kind of rebalance costs somewhere?
I mean,
it's not being built to the same standard as it was.
Look at the wave. Like, I don't think anyone who's done the wave here. Is it just me?
Yeah, I haven't done it.
That is insane. That is a smooth coaster now. That is smooth as anything.
Really?
And all they've done is change the train. That, as ugly as that train people say it is a nice train. That how it rides, it's really good art engineering train. And yeah, I couldn't believe how smooth it was when we did that. But yeah, I think that's probably what it's down to. I think with trains, there's so many like,
parts that could
so many different parts that they could
contribute
change,
to it.
swap. You know, just I mean, look at how many like wheel compounds they test on a new coaster, and they carry on changing it even after the coaster's going around. You know, that's just one element of it. Like, there's just so many different parts to a train.
Can also be as well, like how well is the train greased prior to you going there on the day as well. You know, there's little things maintenance wise that could contribute to it as well.
If you go to Pleasurewood Hills, they've got a lot of coaster lube.
True.
Honestly, on every station platform, they had about 20, obviously massive lube, like everywhere.
It became a game at one point. Look at this lube.
Spot the coaster lube.
Down a pipe when you see the lube.
Ben saying wasn't Nemesis Reborn Strange just reused, refurbished from the original?
Yeah.
I believe the only bit that was the main bit was the chassis, like the actual physical chassis. A lot of the moving parts did get changed.
Yeah, full refurb train.
There wasn't a lot that was
kept from before.
It was the main metal structure, but like the wheel assemblies, I imagine they would have been changed.
Guessing that's literally all down to the size of the train. Like the new gen ones just wouldn't have worked.
So it's not every year;
it
it's every amount of cycles they have. They don't just do it every year; do it per cycle. A lot of coasters.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, and with like B&M's like stature or positioning amongst the likes of Intermittent Mark and RMC and Vekoma and whatever else, like just like to what degree do we value innovation and creativity in coaster layouts versus a layout that you can just straight up, just like a coaster you can just straight up get on and have fun on it? Like, does it always need to be something that we've never seen before?
No.
I don't think it does.
Not at all.
Honestly, I think that notion's kind of overrated. I don't need.
It's fun to see new elements.
I don't need something to be the first of its kind for me to have fun on it.
Yeah. Nah, on James.
But like, say if like I don't know. I think definitely needs to. I mean, we wouldn't just want to ride like
the same.
We want to ride the Swarm at every theme park we went to. Like we need something new and different. And I feel like, especially when you get to the point where you're doing a lot of coasters all the time, you know, like when we did our trip in America, you know, you're just doing the same type of coaster again and again and again, and you're like, this is really fun, but it'd be nice to just see something unique, you know. And it'd be like going to like, it'd be like, would you rather?
But with that has to come the understanding that the vast majority of people don't go to parks like that.
Yeah, but
and that's not the clientele that neither parks nor manufacturers are developing attractions for.
It's very true, but your question was, do we think? What do we want? What I would want is like every coaster to be very like unique. That's what I personally would want. If you're talking about a business sense, actually the most. If you're going to do like if you're going to go on a business route, you'd be like, well, just get a clone at all the different parks that you own, and that would be a lot cheaper.
I mean, that was literally the thinking 30 years ago.
That would be the best way to do it. You're right. Most people are going to their local park, or if it's a destination park, that's a bit different. But yeah, most people are just going to their local Six Flags or their local Merlin Park, and that's it really. So yeah, but I think all in all, like I like the whole Coaster Wars concept. I like people and parks trying to outdo themselves. I think it just breeds like very unique things.
I just so do that's hilarious. and so do I. I'm not buying into the outrage of, maybe outrage is a bit strong of a word, but just like I don't know how to word this. Like just because we're getting creative moments, creative elements, creative layouts from the likes of RMC, Intamin, Mark, whoever else, doesn't mean I'm having any less fun on B&Ms. Because that's what most of the criticism is. It's just like, oh, B&Ms are boring and mediocre and generic and uncreative. Okay, they're doing the same things, or like largely similar things that we once lauded B&M for.
Yeah.
In the 90s and 2000s. I still love those things. Velocicoaster existing, fucking Tiger existing, whatever else, Hyperion, Mark, whatever else. All the RMCs, all of those rides existing don't make me enjoy B&Ms any less.
No.
Am I weird for being like that?
No, I don't. But I think no. I think from my point of view, I'm just like, I just want B&M, because B&M were once my favorite manufacturer. Like even like 3 years ago, they were like my favorite manufacturer. They're not anymore, because they're just kind of like, that doesn't make me enjoy their coasters any less than I already did. But it's when they bring out another dive coaster, I'm like, great, it's a fucking drop into an Immelman. I'm like, I'm not saying that's like, oh, no one can go and enjoy that now. I'm just saying, like, personally for me, who's like keeping up with news and stuff, I'm like, just the same old thing. You know, I'd say that from any manufacturer, if they just kept doing the same thing again and again and again. I'd be like, just give us something. It'd be like, it's how I imagine Drake fans to feel. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, come on, man, do something. Like, do something. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So that's the way I want B&M to succeed.
That was a great analogy.
But we all know what he meant.
That's all it is with B&M. Is I just want them to be, because what we loved about them in like the 90s and early 90s is like they're doing the same thing, but at the time that was new, that was fresh, that was like no one else had done it. And we're getting to a point where it's very hard to do different things. But
yeah,
like Matt could say, they could put a fuck off stall on a wing coaster, and that'd be great. You know what I mean?
That'd be wild, to be fair.
That'd be so good. So just do something like it has to be as little as something like that for me.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. It just once again, like the announcement of a new B&M, like I just saw was met with frustration. It seemed like it's like, first of all, no one's asking you to go right, no one's forcing you to go ride it.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's like, are we not allowed to just have fun thrill coasters anymore? Like,
yeah, and I always think it's important, like we said, like to look at it in the wider context of that park. And in Kings of Minion, it makes full sense to have that type of coaster there.
Yeah,
100%, because they need something that's a safe bet. So, but yeah, I just want them to pull something out of the bag.
Yeah, they will. Just take time. Just take time.
We haven't got time.
I think the best thing.
Coma are right there.
I've not ridden it. I've not ridden it, but like Pipeline just looks so much fun, and that's so different, you know.
Pipeline is so much fun. It's
fun. To be fair,
I
want to do Pipeline because that does look, you know, I do forget about that coaster. Does look very fun. Right, you did Pipeline. Did you do Pipeline?
Me? No.
Luke?
No.
I didn't go.
No, I didn't go to SeaWorld this time. No. The Penguin Trek would have been open, which it wasn't. I kind of went when everything was just about to open.
Yeah, I was gonna say. We had a lot of new stuff though.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, next week we'll be back. We'll go into Planko news.
Yeah, we'll talk about Planko.
We'll go into Mikhail's Cedar Point trip.
Yeah, for sure we will. Yeah.
It looked very eventful.
Oh, it was.
Well, there you go. There's your little tease.
Absolutely.
Find out next week. I'm lost.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we will see you all next week. Has
When
anyone got
hopefully
anything
it's a
else they
bit
want to shout out or anything like that?
No, just go and download Virtual Towers. It's out and free. Find it.
Yes. Do it.
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
it. Do it now.
Honestly, like
Right,
I feel like a boiling frog that doesn't realize how hot they are until
Yeah.
like,
Yes,
realize
that is what's happening right now.
It is hot. My eyes are sweating.
Yeah.
Hopefully
That's
it's
how
cooler
hot it
next week.
That's tears because of the B&M rattle.
All right. Cool. All right then. See you later,
Thanks,
everyone.
guys. See you
Goodbye.
later.
Thank you for watching.